What's going on, everybody? Today I'm coming to you with an Armada build, and we're going with a Sloane double Quasar build. That's right, double Quasar, the unthinkable. I'm gonna try and make it work, and it's gonna be fun. Well, that's the idea. So for this build, I'm going to go with a Quasar Fire 2 class cruiser carrier as both of my Quasars. I had thought about going with just the blue version to save some points, and it would actually do that. It would definitely save some points, but I have to think about putting a lot of eggs in one basket here, and that specifically is the Squadron basket. I'm going to be doing a ton of Squadrons, and so I need to make sure that if my opponent has somebody like a Maul or Mythal or somebody to completely shut down Squadrons, that I can take care of them. And I really like the double the double red there, and so one of the things I'm going to do is I could do Callus. I could definitely do Callus, but the other option is that I do like is Ruthless Strategists on both of these guys. It's just a way to make sure, and it doesn't have to be a named squadron. It's just a guaranteed damage, and on everybody too. So I like that one even better than Callus. Now, we also have flight controllers on both of these Quasars. Now, that's just going to make my squadrons that much better. And plus, they're each doing 4, so that's like 8 extra blue dice every turn. Potentially 10 extra if each of them gets a token. So there is that. And to facilitate giving out tokens, we're going to throw a Gozanti on there with Commsnet. Now, this is one of those things, if you wanted to put Callus on here, I would drop the Commsnet off of the Gozanti just to free up the points. So there's some other places you could potentially free up points, but there is that. So let's go to the squadrons. For squadrons, we're going to be running an awful lot of TIE fighters, kind of like in my basic Sloane build, and you can figure this out however you want. But I'm gonna start off with 8 TIE fighters, so already heavy squadron presence. But we're not done there. We're going to come close to maxing out here, I think. So I'm gonna go with 3 Lambdas. 2 would be enough. I'd have relay of 4 total, so each Quasar could hit 4 squadrons, but I don't want, if one Lambda happens to die, then we're gonna have a problem. Since I'm running Lambdas, also I do want some Squadron Killers ships, and the TIE Fighters they're good for that, they're not great for that. So Valen Rudor is pretty much great for that. And he's also really, I have a hard time not running Valen Rudor now because there's so many A-Wing players. And I just love that he's immune to counter as long as he's next to another ship, because counter counts as an attack. I'm also going to put in a Jump Master 5000. Now, there's the option, if you want to go without a Jump Master, you could consider saving some points, because he's 12, and you could put a Admiral Chiranu on one of your Quasars, and that would kind of give you the similar effect. It would still allow you to get out of the way. Another thing you could do is, like when I did the Sloane's Phantoms build last time, you could potentially run Phantoms, and then you really don't have to worry about intel quite as much. But I'm going with a Jump Master this way. It gives me a little more flexibility on where, which squadrons I want to activate and from which ship I'm activating them. And also, it's another ship itself. It has Swarm. It's got the reroll built in. It's got the blue dice that are going to work well with Sloane. And, I think it's great. So, and it's intel. It's another ship. So this is giving me 11, 12, 13 actual squadrons. 13 or 12 wouldn't make that much of a difference, though, when it comes to setup. So there we go. Now I have points left over, so we are going to add. We need some teeth. We need a ship that can kill other ships, because my squadrons are going to do great at getting somebody's defense tokens down, but we need somebody else to come in here and finish off the ship after the squadrons have softened them up. And what better than a Demolisher? Well, an ISD would be better, but I can't afford that, so we're going with a Demolisher. And then for our Demolisher, I am going to do Ordnance Experts to give me my black die rerolls, and I'm at 395 right now. So one of the things you could do is you could do Assault Proton Torpedoes. That puts you right at 400. Or maybe you want a slight initiative bid, because it is nice to have first player, and sometime 398 will get you there sometimes. It will get you there sometimes, which is nice. So I'll go ahead and stop here with at 398. And we're going to call this, what are we going to call this? This is double Quasar Sloane. Sure. Double Quasar Sloane. Is she Sloane with an E? Yes, she is. Okay. All right, so we got double Quasar Sloane. We have to do some objectives now. So let's look at objectives. One that I've recently thought about running is Blockade Run. And the reason for this is actually a little bit cheesy in that it allows me to be much farther away from my opponent. Why do I want to be much farther away from my opponent? Well, that's actually quite simple. It allows me to take advantage of the Lambda's relay ability. So now I can send all of my ships, you know, full speed ahead, or all my squadrons full speed ahead, and I can keep the Quasars in the back if I need to. If I'm going up against somebody without a counter squadron presence, or somebody with very low squadrons, I can just keep the Quasars in the back, keep them out of fire, and just have the squadrons play the game for me. The same thing with the Gazanti. I have enough. I've got 4, 8, 9, 10. I could even do Squadron here if I wanted to. And he can give out tokens too. So we could hit potentially 5, 5, and 2. Or you know, we're going to be able to hit almost everything, and then the Lambdas can just move on their own at the end of the turn. So we've definitely got enough to give out a lot of squadron commands, and we can do that all remotely. If we start out farther away with Blockade Run, then the Gladiator can just do squadron commands while he's moving into position. So there is that. So we've got a lot of stuff to, you know, kind of get the squadrons up into the fight and keep my ships safe. And I certainly have enough to warrant doing that. And then if the game gets to it, I do have a bunch of speed 3 ships that could potentially get there, but I think more than likely it would probably just be maybe the Gazanti or the Gladiator that were able to get there, because the Gladiator is going to eventually move up to engage, and they might just shoot right past everybody after taking some damage. So the Gladiator and the Gazanti could potentially get into the end zone, and I would probably just keep my Quasars, you know, all the way, you know, set them to speed 0 and just stay at the start point and kind of like say, come at me. Because they have some firepower. If enemy squadrons come after them, forget about it. If you know, and then if I keep that front arc pointed towards the enemy, there you're gonna have less of a angle of approach to me too, because you're playing the game sideways. I have never actually done Blockade Run. It's never been selected or chosen. But the idea of just starting twice as far away from your opponent is really appealing for a relay-based list. So I like that. Next up for yellow, we are going to go with Fighter Ambush. Fighter Ambush is great with relay because I can have all of my squadrons start out basically kind of the same mentality as Blockade Run. I can have my ships start in the back, the squadrons all up front. Relay will lead the way, and there's that. I think that's going to be great. I also am going to score a lot of victory tokens for that. So, you know, I think that's like a win-win. Then for the blue, we definitely have some options. I'm leaning towards, like, I always like superior positions in Solar Corona. Those are always nice. I don't think I get a whole lot. I would probably go with Solar Corona if I was doing that. But Salvage Run is definitely an option, considering I've got a bunch of Lambdas. But so is SensorNet. SensorNet could actually be even better, and I don't really do SensorNet very much. But basically, it's gonna, you know, I can put some of the tokens closer to me. I then get to move them, but I can then move them right back with the Lambdas. So this one will actually be kind of nice if my opponent doesn't have a whole lot of squadrons, and then I can, you know, or if we end up engaging, you know, and I just basically if I have the ability to move my Lambdas around and I don't need to keep them strategically placed, I can move them around to move tokens. So there we go. That is the build. Let me pull it up for you guys here, and there's a like a printout screen cap of the whole build. That's about all I've got for you guys today. I'm actually going to be playing in a tournament tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to fly this or a variation of it, though, but I'm definitely thinking of running Sloane, just because, at least in my area, so many people went to counter Sloane that you never really got to, you know, there was never any Sloanes to counter, so it was all these other builds, all these counter squadron builds, and then those kind of, I think, have faded away. So I don't know if people will be expecting a Sloane, although if they watch this video today, then they'll be like, haha, I watched your video, because that has happened to me on numerous occasions where somebody will be like, I know exactly what you're flying because you posted it yesterday. So I might have to change it up just a little bit, or maybe change it significantly. I'm not sure yet. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and click the little bell for alerts to join the notification squad so you'll find out when I post new videos. Check out Crabbok.com. I've been putting more stuff up there, so check that out. And if you haven't already, give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day.